Hello there everybody. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be looking at your mythical identity aura. I'm really excited for this. I don't know why I wore a cape. I just felt like it, okay? Is that a problem? It's cozy. Is it threatening? Is it off-putting? Pudding? It's just cozy old me. But I am really excited for this reading. I'm gonna take this off, okay? Let me turn on this light too. It's a little too dramatic in here, okay? A little too dramatic. That's better. So I am really excited to do this aura reading today because I'm going to do it in a very special way that I've never done before, and I've actually never even seen anybody do this before, and I love the idea of like mythical identities. I think they're so cool, but let me explain to you how it's going to work. I'm super excited for this. I think it's such a cool idea. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have this format set up of how I'm going to get the title of what your identity is. So I'm going to have this little piece of paper that states blank of blank and blank, and then I have these two bags where I have one dedicated for the blank before the of section, and then another bag that's dedicated to the blank and blank section. So we're going to do a pick a pile format. So you're going to pick your pile, and then when you go to your pile, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one from the first section and then two from the second section, and that's how we're going to get your identity. And then from there, I'm going to come up with your aura, as well as possibly a backstory, along with maybe like a past life kind of deal. It depends on whatever comes through. Doesn't necessarily have to be a past life. It could just be like a fantasy kind of your character and who you would be in a fantasy role. So I think it's gonna be really cool. I'm not gonna be drawing out like what the character would look like, but I am gonna try to get like certain descriptors, certain personality traits maybe, and I can maybe like pick out some physical aspects, but like I said, we will see whatever comes through, and let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna head to the pile selection now, and I'm gonna give you 4 piles to choose from. Take your time, as much time as you need, and yeah, let's just get right into that pile selection. Alrighty guys, here we go. So pile number 1 is going to be represented by this raw piece of Amazonite. Pile 2 is going to be represented by this cute little mushroom. Pile 3 is going to be represented by this metal elephant pendant. And last but not least, pile 4 is going to be represented by this epoxy shark tooth that I personally made, and it has, I believe, labradorite and moonstone on the inside. I'll put them on the paper so you can see them better. Alrighty, and like I said, take as much time as you need, vibe out which pile you believe to be yours, and then go ahead and head down to the comments or the description, and I will have the timestamps listed there for each pile, and I will see you at your pile. Alrighty, pile number 1. This is for those of you that chose the raw piece of Amazonite. So we're going to get into this. I'm going to go ahead and draw from this bag to get a word for here, and then I'm going to draw 2 words from that bag to get 2 words for there. And then we will have your identity, your mythical identity. Okay, so we got ruler. I just thought of that movie, Bueller's Day Off. That quote when he's like, Bueller, but ruler. I don't know, that could be a significant movie in your life. Okay, let's see. Now we get 2 from here. Let's shake it up a bit. Okay, not looking. Ooh, okay, we got the C. And oh, no way. The sea and water. I was totally thinking this before this even started. Oh my god, just stay there. Thank you. This is crazy because
right right before I was like starting to do this, I had to get my dog water. He's behind me. He's been up in my room because he just had surgery, and so he needed water, and so I just got him water. And I've like had this thought in my mind, like, because I was thinking of like the color of this Amazonite, and I was like, for some reason I feel like maybe this pile is just gonna be like, they're gonna be attracted to water, or like water's gonna have some kind of significance. It could be a water sign. But I cannot believe that was like the most that was the most water answer I could have gotten. That's insane. That's so crazy. Okay, cool. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw from my Starseed Oracle deck. And I'm calling it right now. If you get Seas of Mintaka, I'm gonna freak out. Let's see. For pile number 1. Oh. What card? How would you describe the mythical identity of those here in pile number 1? With the Amazonite and ruler of the sea and water. You could have like a fascination with mermaids, or Atlantis. You could be interested in gods like Poseidon. Okay, I was gonna say, if this is the Season of Mintaka card, I'm gonna freak out. But you got deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. That's a pretty card. I'm gonna draw one more. How would you describe the aura of the mythical identity of those here in pile number 1 with the Amazonite, ruler of the sea and water, and deep cellular healing? You might have an anchor tattoo. I just heard love as deep as the sea. So, oh, jeez, okay. Wow, that came out crazy. So we have weight of the world. It says boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. And look, she's literally in the water. That is so crazy. And then we have breath of the cosmos. My will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. And even like up in the cosmos, it looks like she's in some form of water, you know? Alrighty. Hold on, wait. I flipped over the back of the deck and I see something right here, and I feel like it wants to show it. I don't know if it's the Season 1 Talker card, but I feel it coming through so strong. Okay, but wait, okay, I thought that was totally gonna be water, and then I got pranked, because there is water on here, but I got pranked. Okay, so I just really expected to see it. So that might have like a lot of significance to you, is Mintaka. You could consider yourself like a Mintakan starseed, or you might have done a lot of research on that. But I just thought it was cool because when I was getting my dog water, I thought like the need for water, because he needed water. And his name is also Odin, so you might have like a connection to Odin in some way. Not like my dog, that'd be crazy, but I mean like the god Odin. But yeah, I'm really excited to get into this, because this is really fun energy already. I feel like I understand this really well, but it's going to be really hard for me to explain it in words, which is why I do aura readings, because it's better for me to just explain using pictures and colors and such. So, because it's an energy, and trying to explain energy in words is a difficult process, especially when you're a creative. I can write words, but saying them out loud is difficult. So, with all that being said, I will get started with drawing out your aura and figuring out what your mythical identity really is. Alright, so let's jump right into it. Alrighty, pile number 1. So the first thing that I want to point out is a card that definitely stood out to me, which was Weight of the World, where she was literally surrounded by water, just floating in the water. And when I was reading more about Mintakan starseeds, I read that it is a typical feeling to have this desire to save the world
this world that we're in. Because coming from Mintaka, it was such a beautiful, pure place where the water was crystal clear and there was harmony between the animals and the humans, or the Mintakans, I guess, but you know what I mean. And then after that, coming to Earth in your current life, there's, if you're a Mintakan Starseeder, you resonate with it, then there seems to be that sense of longing for home and being homesick. It did say homesick for the stars. But coming from such a beautiful and harmonious place like that, and then coming to Earth, it really like breaks your heart to see the state of the world that it's in and see the damage that's being done to it. And so you try your hardest all the time to just, even if it's just a little thing that you can change, you're gonna do it. If it's picking up one piece of trash while you're walking, if it's, you know, adopting a shelter dog, if it's just giving somebody a compliment, like you're always trying to do just a little thing every day just to make the world a little bit of a better place as much as you can. You're doing all that you can, and you're hoping that it will create a chain reaction, a butterfly effect. You have so much compassion in your heart, and I feel like it almost like doesn't make sense to you how other people don't have that same amount of compassion for others and for the earth and for animals, because you're literally experiencing your view of the world from a different world, if that makes sense. I also do get a sense that you've been through some really, really harsh moments in your life. Some really traumatic things have happened to you. But you got through it because you're such a strong person, and you've been able to let compassion help you through those moments. Not only compassion for others, but compassion for yourself as well. You've been able to take care of yourself. You've been able to see what it genuinely feels like to be at your lowest point and to be that hurt. And you never want anybody to feel pain like that. And so you have that compassion, you have that empathy, and you know that it's not going to do anybody any good if you let your past and the trauma that has happened to you, if you let that affect you to the point where you are projecting that hurt onto other people. You know that that's not right. You know that that's not fair, and you never want to be that person. And because of what you've been through in the past, it has really shed some light on how you believe that we should be treating everybody. And you understand better than most people that everybody's going through something. Everybody is having a hard time right now, and there is no need for you to be putting more pressure on somebody else. So that's why you just try to live your life as positively as you can, but not like toxic positivity. It's not like, oh, I'll just get over it, it's whatever, like I'll just be grateful and forget about my problems. It's not like that, but you understand and accept what has happened so that you don't have to hold on to it so tightly and push it down and then have it projected onto somebody else because you weren't able to work through it on your own. I think that you might be really good at speaking to people without words. So art, dance, photography, music. I think that you are a very creative person, and you know how to touch people's emotions without even speaking to them. Also, you could have always felt really drawn to the water. You could live near water, or at least grew up around water. I'm getting like Florida, California, Texas, Maine, maybe. You grew up, I feel like, near some form of water, and even if you didn't, you've always had some connection to it. You've always felt like you could almost rinse away your anxieties, your depression, your fears, your anger. You always felt like water was just very healing for you. Even if it was just like taking a shower, you felt like you could just wash off all of that pain the second that you touched water. And like I mentioned earlier, you could have had some, or you might currently have, a obsession or at least an interest in mermaids or even just marine biology, marine animals, any kind of aquatic life. You might like going to the aquarium, you might like going to the beach and finding like little treasures. I'm seeing like sand dollars and seashells, really pretty seashells. I feel like that's just always something that's been an interest of yours. You might have like a collection of things that you find at the beach. You also could have been somebody who watched that show, H2O, as a kid, or you might have really liked that movie, Aquamarine, both about mermaids. But overall, I just get a very empathetic, compassionate, sensitive, and genuine and authentic aura with this. So, this is the finished aura. And I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. I think it was super fun and I loved how it turned out. But wait, there's more. Because I love you guys so much, I decided to do a little something extra that I didn't initially plan on, but I decided on this very last minute and I thought it was so cool. So I decided to put everybody's identity title into an AI image generator to see what images would come up, and I came up with some really cool images. And so the image that I got from the ruler of sea and water is this. And I'm obsessed with this picture. I think it's so cool and it totally fits the energy that I was describing. And I think it really captures that dual energy that I was hinting towards, where it's both gentle, empathetic, very kind, very nurturing, but also just very powerful. Like the ruler of the sea and water is going to be very powerful. Obviously, they're a ruler, but being of water, like water is a very emotional element. It's more towards the feminine side. And I think that this picture just really captures that whole essence perfectly. So I love it. I hope that you guys like it. And let me know what you think, because this is something that I offer when I do one-on-one readings. But it's really cool and it's a lot more personal, because what I do is I actually take a picture that you send me of yourself, and then I'll run that picture through an AI generator and I'll get an image from that, and then I'll draw your aura and I'll put it as the background of that picture. If that's something that you are interested in, definitely reach out to me. All of my contact information will be down in the description, as well as in my bio on my YouTube channel, and I'd love to get something set up for you. And again, I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and if you did resonate with this reading, or if you just liked it and you want to show your support, I'd really appreciate it if you could do that for me by liking, sharing, subscribing, and of course, hit that bing bong so that you never miss a new upload from me. And I hope you have a week as beautiful as you, and I hope to see you again in the future. I love you. Bye. Alrighty, hello, pile number 2. This is for those of you who chose the cute little mushroom. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm so excited to get started with this reading, so let's jump right into it. So first I'm going to pull one of these words for the beginning of your identity title. And just so you know, I'm not looking. I promise I'm not looking. You're just going to have to believe me. Let's do... just feeling around this one. Oh, I don't want to pull too many. I think this one. You okay? Oh, okay. We got angel. Love that. And then 2 for the second part of your identity title. For pile number 2, the cute little mushroom. Let's see. This one. And this one. Okay. So we have words. And, ooh, and destiny. Ooh, the angel of words and destiny. That's cool. Right off the bat, I'm getting that you might be a Gemini or have
heavy Mercury placements. You could be a Gemini rising. You could just be really good with communication, words, and you might just be a charismatic type of person, but you're very, what's the word? You choose your words very wisely, I'm getting. And I feel like you're somebody who doesn't really you don't speak just to hear yourself speak. You know, like if you're going to say something and you want it to be heard, you're doing it with a purpose of getting your point across. You think there's a reason to say it. You're not just making sound. You're not one to make small talk or anything. You're totally put off by small talk, I feel like. If nobody is gaining anything from whatever's being said by either you or somebody else, then you feel like there's no point in saying it, you know? If you're not teaching somebody something or nobody's teaching you anything, if there's nothing to gain from an exchange of words, then why say it? Especially if it's like negativity or just like a hateful comment. You know in your heart, like, there was no reason for them to say that. There was no, like, nobody learned anything, nobody gained anything from this. It wasn't useful information, it wasn't uplifting, it was just pointless crap that didn't need to be said. And you hate that, I feel like. You're very justice oriented. You could definitely be an air sign, because now I'm seeing like the Libra with the justice card and such, like that's all Libra energy. So basically you could be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Either way. Let's see. And I actually didn't do this for pile number 1, but I'm gonna do it for you guys because I have these zodiac dice that I've been wanting to use, and I actually match the background of this like so good. Crazy. I feel like aesthetic means a lot to you too. But let's see. Okay, so we got Sagittarius in the 2nd house, and I believe is that Mercury? Okay, so yes, I looked it up. That is Mercury. Called it. I looked up specifically a Sagittarius ascendant, Mercury in the 2nd house, and it says that the 2nd house represents wealth, speech, family, and possessions, while Mercury is the planet of communication, intellect, and commerce. So what I'm getting from this energy is I feel like you use your words in a way to not only benefit yourself financially, but to also help others, especially with Angel of Words and Destiny. I feel like it is your destiny to use your words in an angelic way that helps others, and it's your destiny because like you are using that as a way to fuel your financial stability. And I just think like that's what you're meant to do here on this earth. And so like, for example, you could be a therapist, you could be a writer, even like a songwriter. You could make music and your lyrics mean a lot to people. But I just feel like it is literally your destiny in some way to be an angel for other people using your words, because I feel like your words strike people in a way that makes things click for them, and it could be just said in such an elegant way that makes so much sense, even though like it could be about something that someone's heard about hundreds of times but never really understood it, and the second you say it or word it or phrase it a certain way, they're like, that makes total sense, I get it. And it changes people, it really helps a lot of people, and it's really inspiring, and it's just a beautiful energy. And so with all that being said, next I want to grab something. I want to grab a card or two from my Starseed Oracle deck, see what we get there. Alright, so how would you describe the aura and the energy of those here in pile number 2 with the identity of Angel of Words and Destiny? Angel of Words and Destiny. I'm also getting that you might have a air Mars, an air sign Mars, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius in your Mars placement. You don't have to, but I just felt like I needed to bring that up because it came through. So we have I'm sorry, defenselessness, righting past wrongs, and uprooting. With this, I feel like, I don't feel like this is you saying it. I mean, like, it could be, but I feel like you're able to wake people up to a point where they can openly admit their wrongdoings, and they're willing to change, they're willing to say I'm sorry, they're willing to see where they went wrong and how to fix it. And that's really awesome, because we need more of that. Grab one more. what is the energy that would describe those here in pile number 2 with the identity of Angel of Words and Destiny? The Angel of Words and Destiny. Okay. Okay. So we have Portal. It says doors are opening, you decide, rewards, and wild card. That is such a pretty card. I love that. And I feel like this is literally like you showing others like this is your choice. Doors are opening, you decide how your life is going to go, but once you're able to acknowledge where you went wrong and then take responsibility for that action, that's when your life starts to change. That's when a new door opens, when you're willing to acknowledge what you did and you know that it was wrong and you're willing to make that change. That's when you start to change as a person. So I feel like you almost bring this portal to people and you say like, look, this is the situation, this is what you're going through, this is what you did. Once you admit that it was wrong, then you can step into a better light in your life. But you can't become a better person until you are willing to make the change, until you are willing to admit that something isn't right with how you are now. I feel like you really help out a lot of people that are going through hard times, and it's not necessarily like because they're just inherently a bad person, but it's more so like you help people identify why they make the choices that they make, and you help them to realize that it's okay that they didn't know how to work through their emotions. It's okay that like you teach people forgiveness of themselves and of others, because I have a feeling that you are able to show people that they're not bad people, but those people that you're helping have always just assumed that they have to keep being mean to people or doing whatever bad behavior that they're doing because that's all they know. But once you step in, you're able to show them that it's not their fault and that they were just operating out of the only energy that they knew. It could have been because of their past, however they grew up, how their parents were to them, past relationships. But they weren't aware of that prior to meeting you. They just always assumed that's just who they were destined to be. But you teach them, using your words, that this doesn't have to be their destiny. This isn't who they are. This is a reaction to how they were treated, and that they don't have to carry on that behavior. They can break that chain. They can break that cycle. They don't have to keep identifying with their past. So I think that's really beautiful. And I just want to see at the bottom of the deck. Let me see. Yeah, so at the bottom of the deck we have water your garden. It says nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. Yeah. I definitely still feel that of like you teaching people that they need to see themselves as a garden. They need to take care of themselves. They need to understand themselves and disconnect from their past, disconnect from toxic relationships, toxic environments, toxic behaviors. And once they are able to step away from that, then they can see themselves as a soul in this world, and that the way that they behave is going to cause a chain reaction. And just because somebody in the past treated them poorly doesn't mean that they have to continue that and treat the next person like that. So I think this is beautiful, beautiful energy. And if you feel like this is resonating for you, then awesome. We will get started with drawing out the aura of your identity. And yeah, I cannot wait to get into this. So let's get started with your aura reading. And you'll see me drawing it out on the screen as I explain it. So let's go. Okay, so pile number 2. With your reading, I thought this was really cool because yours is coming through as like a story, as an actual mythical identity story. So with this identity, I'm seeing you as a little fairy that follows people around and kind of gives them like hints. And I'm actually, if you've ever played The Legend of Zelda, I'm hearing Navi when it's like, hey, listen. I'm hearing that.
like clear as day. That makes total sense, actually. But you follow people around as a little fairy, and you like try to guide them through life and give them hints about like the right or wrong choices to make and stuff like that. And people can make the decision to listen to you or not. And then I feel like once it's the end of their life, then they meet you again, but this time they see you as as large as they are, you know, not a tiny little fairy anymore. You're human sized and you're guarding the gates of heaven, and now you're an angel. And the portal that we saw in the card, I feel like that is representative of the gates of heaven. And now, because you've experienced life with this person, you've shown them the right choices to make, and you've seen the choices that they made, even with you giving them hints along the way, you now are the one deciding whether or not they get into heaven, which is really intense. But if they didn't listen to you, then, you know, that's a very clear indication that, you know, maybe they're not fit for heaven. Maybe they need to go back to Earth and relearn things with a different guide. Or maybe you are the guide for everybody. Like, you're one of the angels that is sent down as like an archangel who's there to guide people along the way, help them make the right decisions, be there to support them, be there to comfort them. But then when they see you again after they have passed away and they're standing at the gates of heaven, they're like, oh my god, like, I know who this is. I know immediately, like, I should have listened, or I'm glad that I listened, or whatever the case may be. And I feel like people, and this might be relevant to you, like, you as a person, if you come across as someone who is like gentle as a fairy, like very, you know, like a fairy's very small, very, I don't know, not influential, I guess, depending on the person. But I feel like you might have this way of speaking that's very soft spoken. You're very gentle, very quiet, very sensitive. And so people might not listen to a lot of the things that you say, even though you know it's the right thing to say and you know it's the right decision to make. So when you give advice, people are like, oh, whatever, or they'll talk over you or whatever. But you know in your heart they make a big mistake by doing that, because you know that they're going to screw up somewhere and they're going to regret not listening to you. So when they see you again later in life, they're like, oh shit, like I definitely should have listened to them. And you're like, yeah, that's what I thought. Because you're actually so powerful, but people don't realize it until they're on the same plane as you, you know? Because if you were sent down from heaven to earth, you're still on a different plane, right? Because you're coming from a different plane. So once they are standing at the gates of heaven, now they're finally on the same plane as you, and they see what you mean, and they're like, crap, I wish I had just listened for a second. But I didn't see this as like a thing I needed to worry about. Like, I was my own person, I could have made my own decisions, and whatever, I did what I wanted to. That was my life. But now they're realizing, like, that was the biggest mistake ever, because now they need to go back and relearn things, and it's not going to be as easy. They're going to have a bunch of karma added on. Okay, this is cool, because I feel like your identity is karma, in a sense. That's weird, because I said in a sense, but it sounded like innocence, which is cool. Karma innocence. That's your name. That's your identity name. Like, so we have your title, which was the Angel of, what was it, Words and Destiny. But I think if you had like a full name, it'd be Karma Innocence, which is sick. Where was I going with that? So basically, you are the decider of people's fate. And throughout your lifetime, you definitely help people realize what they're doing before they make the mistake that they want to make. So by doing this, I feel like I feel like you do this in a way that a fairy would, where you're not, like, if this character that we're talking about um, was in someone's life, I feel like they stay very hidden and they almost work as like an undercover kind of entity. So they'll do it very low key. They'll be very hush hush about it. They don't want anyone to know that a fairy is telling them what to do, right? But they want the person to think it's their intuition and that they're meant to follow their intuition, but it's really just you trying to guide them. And I feel like the way that you could relate to this in your actual human life, you might be really good at like placing subliminals into people's minds through, like I said, you might be really good at music, art, dance, like words without words, messages without words, and having people, like being able to affect the subconscious of other humans in a monumental way, but without even saying anything to them. But you're able to put those subliminal messages in their head, and they're always positive. They're always trying to like guide others in a specific direction, in the best direction for them, right? But you're not like obvious about it. You're not like you're not like a motivational speaker who's just saying like your opinion and how to fix things and like, you know, like those alpha male podcasts and all that crap. You're not like that. You're not trying to like force any behavior onto somebody, but I think that you definitely have a lot of influence on other people, and you use art as a way to get that influence across. And whatever they do with that influence is up to them, and then that's when they decide their destiny, their fate, and if they don't do what they're supposed to with it, then that was up to them and that was their mistake, and that's the fate that they chose. So without further ado, with all that being said, this is your finished aura, and I really hope that you like it. I think it's really pretty, and I love how it turned out because it's both angelic and like a fairy-esque kind of vibe. I love it, and I love that it was paired with the little mushroom in the beginning. It makes so much sense, and it's just so cool. But wait, there's more. I'm so excited about this because I decided last minute, because I didn't have this initially planned, but I decided that I was going to run everybody's identity title through an AI image generator just to see what would come up, and I came up with some really cool images, and so this is what came up for yours, which was the Angel of Words and Destiny. And I think it's so gorgeous. I love how it turned out, and I love that she has a very like fairy type of vibe, but she's very angelic. She's very just beautiful. I love the whole energy of the picture. I think it fits this aura perfectly. And definitely let me know what you guys think about this. I think it's really cool and really fun. And I actually offer this personally when we do one-on-one readings if you order that from me. And if you want to get a personal one done, definitely let me know. All of my contact info will be down in the description as well as in my About Me on my YouTube channel. But overall, I just thank you so much for being here, and I really hope that you liked this reading, and if you did, if you could show me some support by liking, sharing, subscribing, and of course, hit that bing bong so that you never miss a new upload from me. And with that, I hope you have a week as beautiful as you, and I hope to see you again in the future. I love you. Bye! Alrighty, hello there, pile number 3. Thank you so much for being here. This is for those of you who chose the metal elephant pendant. Alright, so let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull one of these for the first section of your mythical identity title. And don't worry, I'm not looking. Just going to pull it random, just going to feel around. For pile number 3, what is the first part of their mythical identity? This one. Ooh, okay. We have creator. I'm going to pull 2 out of this bag for the second half. Let me keep this up here actually. For their mythical identity. Pile number 3. So this one. This one. Ooh, gardens. And ooh, and the soul. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Wow. Creator of Gardens and the Soul. Wow.
That's insane energy, man. Wow. Okay, I'm speechless. That's so cool. Okay. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull from my Starseed Oracle deck. So what energy can be used to describe the aura of those here on pile number 3 for their mythical identity? Creator of gardens and the soul. Oh wow, okay. Weird, this came through on pile number 1 too. So you might want to check out pile number 1 if you were drawn to it. If not, it's totally cool. But you got Breath of the Cosmos, My Will to Thy Will, Micromanaging the Universe. Let's see what else. Oh my god. No way! What? That flipped over like immediately. And it's literally Child of the Cosmos. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. This is crazy. Wow. You get one more. Creator of the garden and the soul. One more card to describe the energy of those here in pile number 3. Oh wow, that's too many. Screw it, I'm gonna take them. So, I always screw this up, literally. Oh my god. Hiraith. I remember, I screwed this up in a previous reading, and it was so embarrassing, but I looked it up, and it's Hiraith. Hiraith? Longing for home, homesick for the stars. That's what that means. What is that word? Help me.
Hiraith.
Trust the timing. It says, bleh. This card screws me up so bad, I don't know why. Longing for home, homesick for the stars. I got, oh my god, the Seas of Mintaka. I was freaking out in pile number 1 because I swore, okay, maybe you need to go watch pile number 1, but I swore that this card was gonna come out, and now it's coming out, because it didn't come out then, and yeah. The Seas of Mintaka, seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. And then last we have Star Brothers. Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. This reminds me of, like, I was gonna say with the elephant, I don't know why, I felt like Egyptian type energy, and I'm just realizing, like, this pyramid here. I mean, I knew it was there, obviously, but, like, I'm being drawn to it in this reading for some reason. Let me focus it. So you could be drawn to Egypt, Egyptian history, you could have Egyptian heritage, ancestors, but the Horus energy, that reminded me of what I was feeling initially. You could have some kind of connection to Horus, or you might have wanted to do, like, some research on him. And if you haven't ever done that in the past, I would definitely recommend it. I think he's super cool. Really interesting, too. I also get a sense that you might either be a brother or you might have brothers that are very protective over you, or you might be that brother who's very protective over your family, your siblings. Because Star Brothers, like loyalty, protection, safety, trust, I feel that card very strongly. Creator of gardens and the soul. For some reason, I am getting that you are into music, like, a lot more than most people. Like, it speaks to you on a very deep level. It makes you feel connected to something bigger than just the earthly plane. And that's really hard to explain. I don't know why that's exactly coming through. But I feel like you see the soul as a garden to be nourished. This energy is, like, really, really intense, and it's making me, like, screw up my words a little bit. I just heard the word Voyager. This is all coming through very strongly, but, like, also not at the same time. Like, it's such an intense energy, and there's so much. I'm seeing Noah's Ark also. There's so much coming through. This feels like, you know, like the creator energy. I'm gonna cry. No, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. But I do think that once I start drawing out this aura, it'll be a lot easier for me to get a feel for what this energy is, because it's coming through so intense. But there's, like, so much information coming through all at the same time that it's hard for me to pinpoint exactly, like, each individual thought that's coming through. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump straight into your aura reading and hopefully as I'm drawing it out, we can get a better sense of, what this identity really is. Because it feels like it's not a physical person. Let me just say that. It feels like it's not a physical body, like an earthly body. It literally feels like a soul. Or like a entity, or it's an energy. It's like a presence. It's, you know, if you're religious, which I kind of get the feeling that this pile is, and if you're not, it's okay. I do just want to give this as an example of what I'm feeling, because it's the only thing that like comes to mind when I'm trying to explain what I'm explaining. Is like when you talk to God, it's different than talking to like a person face to face right in front of you, but you know that he's listening. You know that somebody is listening. You know that he's there. He's protecting you. He's watching over you, and that's honestly the protection thing. I feel like I think that you have a direct connection to the angelic realm. And not only are you very protected, but you protect others in a very, very brotherly way. You protect them with all of your heart, and you have so much love in your heart. And this is such a pure and powerful energy. This is insane. And elephants could definitely have significance to you, because elephants are very, very wise, very powerful, but also so, so sweet, so intelligent, but still very strong, very large. I'm not saying you're large like physically, but I'm saying like your energy is really powerful. But I don't think that you have any intention of using it in a negative way. It's very pure, it's very powerful. I'm trying so hard to explain this, but like I think I'm just gonna try my best to draw out this aura, and we're gonna see what comes through. Because this is definitely, okay, hold on. Do you see like in the back of this card, and I keep getting drawn to this card, in the back of this card, this like orb of energy behind them? That's what I feel your energy looks like. So it's really hard for me to like explain, or at least like see it in color or explain it, because it's an energy. It can't, it's like a light, a literal bright orb of light. I'm still gonna draw out your aura, don't worry, but that's what I'm experiencing, so it's hard for me to put into words what that is. But anyway, let's just jump right into that, because I'm screwing this up here, and I'm probably taking way too much time trying to explain it, when it's probably just easier to use pictures and colors and such. So you'll see me drawing it out as I explain the energy, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, pile number 3. I really hope that you're okay with me doing this. This is the craziest thing ever. Instead of just drawing out your personal aura, I'm going to combine it with the aura of number 4's identity, because these are two identities from the same story. Both of these piles play off of each other in a crazy way. So I'm just going to go ahead and play number 4's reading right now, and you can watch through that if you'd like, and then I'm going to hop into that aura reading where I'm just going to combine both of the auras and explain this story, because it's way easier to just explain this story with both characters in it, instead of trying to be like, well, you helped pile 4 with this, and pile 4 did that, so, it'll just be easier this way. It's gonna be really cool. I promise it's worth it, and I hope that you're okay with me doing this. I'm so excited. I didn't expect this to happen at all, but it's crazy how this is happening. Alrighty, pile number 4. Thank you so much for being here. This is for those of you who chose the epoxy resin shark tooth with moonstone and labradorite. Alright, so first what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull one word out of this bag for the first half of your identity title. Let's shake it up a bit. Alrighty, for pile number 4, this is the first half of their identity, their mythical identity title. Ooh, okay. So we got Bender. For the second half, Bender of for pile number 4. Put this up here. Put it here. With the epoxy shark tooth. It's the second half of their identity, their mythical identity, bender of what and what. And ooh, okay. We got bender of fire. Firebender. So cool. And so bender of fire and ooh. Okay. Bender of fire and emotion. I just heard that one song, that old song. It's like sweet emotion. It's a good song. I forget who that's by. If I remember it, I'll add it in. So we got bender of fire and emotion. The firebender. Ooh, bending emotion. Wow. That could be a good or a bad thing, you know? Depending on how you choose to use that power. And I don't even, like, hold on. That could go one of two ways. If you're a bender of emotion, you could, you know, be really good at, you could use that power to change the negative emotion of others into something positive. But also, you could take that a different route and make it a more manipulative type of energy, which this doesn't have to be like about you. This could just be like, you know, like a villain origin story, if that's how you want to take it. Like, this doesn't have to be about you at all. This is mostly just like your mythical identity. It's like if you were a mythical character. So if it does go bad, don't like take it personally or anything. It's just like this is your cool villain arc story. So let me see. I'm gonna pull some cards from my Starseed Oracle deck to get a better understanding of this energy. So the bender of fire and emotion. So we got Earth School. It says life lessons, soul growth, study, and higher learning. Then we got wait. It's not yet time. Things are being woven. Okay, and then we also got Mars energy. Okay. We also got the Great Severing. Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. Ooh, okay. Wow. Wow, guys. These two also came out. So we have loosen your grip, coping mechanisms. Oh my god, okay. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction, and let God in. Whew, man. And then star ancestors. Hidden secrets, lost wisdom, look a little deeper. So here's what I think. I literally feel like this is not a villain origin story, but like it could be the ending of a villain origin story. You know, like it starts off as a villain origin story, but by the end of the movie you're like, okay, I actually like really sympathize with this character. Because I feel like being a firebender, that has already in itself so much power. But especially with the cards that we got, being like Mars energy, anger, and then density and addiction and coping mechanisms, like I feel like you had to bend the emotions of others to make yourself feel less ashamed of who you were. And I never saw, okay, you're gonna hate me if you were into this show, but like Avatar: The Last Airbender, I kind of understood what was going on, but like I didn't follow the series, so like I didn't know all the time, but like I know that the Fire Nation, when they attacked, that was like a hated nation, right? My dog is choking in the background. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. I do know that, what is his name? Please don't hate me if you like this show. Sokka?
It was Zuko, you uncultured swine.
I know that he was part of the Fire Nation and he was seen as like the enemy, but I did see an episode where he was actually doing a lot of good. He was helping out these kids, he was protecting them, and he was able to help a lot of people with his power, but the second that
they realized that he was from the Fire Nation, that's when they, like, the whole village completely wrote him off, and they didn't want anything to do with him anymore. It didn't matter how much that he had done for their family and all the kids and the whole village. Like, it didn't matter. He was completely outcasted the second that they found out he was from the Fire Nation. I believe it was because of his father. I think that his father did something, like, destroyed villages. I'm not going to try to explain a show that I don't know much about, but what I'm trying to say is that I think people have a very skewed perception of you. And because of the power that you have, and because you might be very fiery in nature, maybe you're a little more aggressive than most, maybe you're a little hot-tempered, or you have a short fuse, I feel like people really force that identity onto you, and they don't take the time to think about, what's causing that. Why are you like that? And no one wants to actually help you work through that. And so that's why I feel like maybe in the past you've felt like you've had to bend the emotions of others to make yourself feel like you're not that bad of a person. And you're not that bad of a person, but the way that people are treating you makes you feel like you are. So you have to bend how they feel, and your way of doing this might be, to show your anger, show your aggression, keep people away, keep them from coming into your life, because you can't trust anybody, because when people see a deeper side of you, maybe that's something that you've never been comfortable with because you've shown your vulnerable self to people in the past, and the way that they received it was not what you expected, and it hurt you even more in the long run. And so now I feel like you use that fiery side of yourself to keep people at a distance, to make sure that you don't let anybody in, you don't let anybody too close. I get Scorpio energy. Yeah, I keep seeing like a scorpion stinger, like, don't get too close to me because I will cut you. And that would actually make a lot of sense. Like, I feel like Scorpio is like the ultimate, and this, like, literally, okay, this, I know that I said that this is a shark tooth, this literally could be like a scorpion stinger, right? And I feel like that's the ultimate, like, Scorpio title, is bender of fire and emotion, because Scorpio is such an intense sign, but also a very emotional sign, so there's that duality, but it's all about finding the balance between the two. And it's important to remember that emotion can be had without it being fuel for the fire. I'm just going to stop there. I think that was a good spot to stop for now, and I'm going to start to draw out your aura, and we will get right into that, and I'll explain it as I'm drawing it out. You'll see me drawing it out on the screen, and yeah, I'm excited for this. And guys, don't feel bad if you're going through, like, times where you feel angry and you feel like an outcast because you have very strong emotions. It's okay, guys. We're human. Everybody gets angry. It's okay. It's just something that you're learning how to work through in this lifetime. That's totally fine. Everybody has something, a flaw that they need to work through, and just because this is yours doesn't mean that this is who you are, If you acknowledge that it's something that's hurting you, if you want to be able to feel vulnerable letting people in, acknowledging that and accepting that is step one, and you've already made so much progress just by acknowledging what it is and understanding that you want to make a change. So if that's the case, I'm very proud of you. If not, though, it's totally fine. You can still stay here. But either way, let's jump right into that. Alrighty, so pile number 4. I already mentioned this at the end of pile number 3's reading, and if you didn't hear it, that's fine. I just want to let you guys know, and I hope that you're okay with this, that I am going to be combining the auras of pile number 3 and 4, because if you didn't watch the third pile and hear my little explanation about it, as it turned out, because I did all the card readings for each pile first before I started to draw out the auras, and then I came to the realization later on that pile number 3 and pile number 4, both of these characters are from the same story. This is an intertwined story, okay? And it's really cool, and it's insane how much connection is happening between the two readings. So I'm going to go ahead and explain what that story is, and you'll see me drawing out this aura. So it's going to be 3 and 4. So if that is confusing to you of why it's like split in half and there's two different energies going on, that's why. So here's the thing, is that pile number 3, and I guess I'll just lay it out like what each person does. Pile number 3 is the spiritual mentor to pile number 4. And I have several pieces of evidence that I can give that makes me sure of this conclusion. So, first of all, mostly looking at the oracle cards here, there was a lot of connection between the two piles. I do want to point out that in pile number 4, there was a card that said, let me see, I'm looking through it right now, sorry about that. So, one of them said Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, and higher learning. Okay. And the fact that it also said star ancestors, and that it says hidden secrets, lost wisdom, and look a little deeper, and that card had pyramids on it, which in pile number 3 they had a card that said star brothers on it, which had a picture of Horus, the Egyptian god, on it. And I was feeling this energy of like, because their title, their mythical title or identity was creator of gardens and the soul. And so with that, I was thinking this is like the energy of the creator, like the source, the god, okay? But I kept getting like Egyptian energy and I didn't know why. And then this card came out and I kept getting drawn to it. And it made sense when I got to pile number 4, because I feel like with everything that pile number 4 was going through, because it does say like there's been a rough past for pile number 4, okay? It says the great severing, which is Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. Then along with that was loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, and let God in. And so with pile number 3 having the Horus card depicted, and then pile number 4 having a card that literally says let God in, and then lost wisdom and look a little deeper, and hidden wisdom with the star ancestors, and that card has the pyramids on it. It made so much sense, especially with the Earth School card for pile number 4, like life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. Pile number 4 is going through a lot, but they're here to learn. And I think that that wisdom and that guidance is going to come from the spiritual intervention, the divine intervention of the being that is pile number 3. And if this seems like something that like could resonate with you in your personal life, this could be another person, this could be spirituality, but something is going to come into your life, if it hasn't already, that really changes the way that you think about things. And actually, as I'm editing this video, before I even upload it, I'm coming to another realization that these two characters could be related. I feel like number 4 is the brother of pile number 3. Because with the Star Brothers card, for some reason I get this image that like pile number 4 was outcasted from the family because they saw number 3 as like the angel, the perfect kid who was always nice to everybody, who followed the rules and whatnot. And I feel like it's an older brother that pile number 4 is. I feel like it's a brother and a little sister, okay? And so maybe the parents like made a lot of like was always comparing the two different kids, and that really made pile number 4 feel like an outcast. And I also feel this energy because of the card that said the Great Severing, which also said like the Mars energy, the anger, the conflict. I feel like that was a product of this family dynamic, right? So when the daughter was born and she was like sweet and innocent and kind.
You is kind, you is smart, you is important, you is smart, you is kind, you is important.
Maybe the parents like made those comparisons between the two kids, and it really led pile number 4 to feel isolated, rejected, and inadequate. And that's what caused the Great Severing, which then led to the anger, the conflict, etc. So I feel like there was just a lot of tension in this family dynamic, and that is what led pile 4 to sever himself from the family and like cut himself off from that connection. And now it's gone a little too far. Maybe it's like gone into like the addiction, like it said, the addiction, the anger, the conflict, and whatnot. And I feel like now that pile number 3 and 4, you guys are both grown up, pile number 3 is seeing how affected pile 4 is from this. And so she tries to reach back out and offers her guidance and wants to help, because she never wanted him to leave the family. She never wanted him to feel rejected. But since it happened, all she wants to do is help, and she wants to use spirituality to do that, because she can tell that that's not something that's necessarily present in 4's life. And the craziest thing was pile number 3 also had a card that said Breath of the Cosmos, and it says, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. And I read a little bit about this in the book that it comes with, and it says, when we rely only on our own will, we're micromanaging the universe and resisting the natural flow of life. We're not trusting the mysterious breath of life. We're rejecting the great cosmic intelligence and relying instead on our own personal strength. When we do this, we find ourselves attempting to bend things to our will. Literally, the title and the identity of pile number 4 is the bender of fire and emotion. This blew my mind, because, like, it is so connected. It's insane. So I'll go ahead and read the rest of it. But it says, let me see, where did I leave off? We spend our time forcing, pushing, and living from a space of trying to. Everyone around us can feel it, and the universe can too. You're being called to stop micromanaging the universe and trust the breath of life, to surrender to the greater will that God has for you, to move from my will to thy will. When you surrender to the greater will of life, you begin dancing with the rest of life. When you bow to the great mystery and say, please use me, please show me the way, little by little, you find yourself living your most fulfilling, authentic life. When you surrender your personal will, when you relinquish, control, and release the way you think things should be, and surrender to the greater will, you find yourself being led. You begin breathing the breath of life. And so I feel like pile number 3 wants to help pile number 4 by showing him that you can't necessarily bend what's real. You can't change other people's perspectives of you. You can't change the hand that you've been dealt. All you can do is accept and trust. And that's something that pile number 4 is definitely struggling with, both of those things, accepting and trusting, because he never felt accepted and he never felt comfortable trusting people because it never worked out in the past. And that's why pile number 3 is there to be like, hey, but have you considered accepting God? Have you considered trusting in God and the universe and spirituality? And I don't know if you can hear that bird chirping behind me. It's really loud. That hasn't happened like throughout the whole reading, so that's crazy. But like, even if you can't change your circumstances here on Earth, there is something so much bigger than you that you can trust. And I think that pile number 4 has already taken on this identity of, I have to help myself, I can only trust myself, I can't trust anybody else, and I'll just do everything myself because no one else is going to do it the way I need it to be done. But in this lifetime, pile 4 is supposed to learn that it's okay to trust, because you don't have to trust in a specific person just yet, but when you trust in God and when you trust in divine timing, you trust in spirituality, you trust in the universe, energy, just having that feeling of trust in your soul, you will receive energy that you can trust, but you have to be open to receiving it. Because if you go your whole life thinking that you just have to stay strong, you're not allowed to be vulnerable, you're not allowed to trust anybody or let anybody in, that's why it's saying let God in. If you're not like religious, it's okay, feel free to, change out words for whatever you're comfortable with, universe, but just, it literally said let God in. And also, like I said, this doesn't have to be like specifically about you. This could just be like a character and a really cool story, because this is working out so well. It's insane to me. And let me see. Yeah, and the Star Brothers card that pile 3 had said Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. And pile 4 had the card that said loosen your grip. And that's the one that literally said let God in. It's literally telling you, you know, it's okay, like relax. You don't have to handle everything on your own. And you're not alone. But you have to release that need to be strong all the time. I know that because of the past, it may seem that that's what you have to do to get by, but it's not good for you in the long run, because you can't handle everything on your own, and it's not going to make you happy by doing everything the way that you want it to be done. It's just that your lesson and what you're learning here in this lifetime is the fact that you are acknowledging that you can't do everything on your own. But that's okay. Once you become okay with that realization, that fact, that's when you start inviting in new energy that you can trust, that you feel comfortable being vulnerable with, and that helps you to see a warmer side of society. Because people do want to help you. And people are willing to help you 100%. It's just, I know that it can seem hard coming from your past because you did trust people, and I understand that trust gets broken a lot of the time. But that doesn't mean that you never have to trust anybody. So pile number 3 was like the God, the messenger of spirituality, helping you to open up and to let yourself be vulnerable with people, let yourself trust people. And I think it was so beautiful how this worked out. So I hope that you guys like this, and I really love how this aura turned out, guys. I'm so excited to show it to you. So without further ado, this is pile 3 and 4's finished mythical identity aura. And for the final touch, of course, because I'm extra like that and I love you guys so much, so I'm gonna go that extra mile for you guys, I decided to put everybody's mythical identity title into an AI image generator to see what would come up, and I came up with some really cool images. So first I'll show you pile number 3's, which was Creator of Gardens and the Soul. I am obsessed with how this turned out. It is perfect. It fits the aura and the explanation so well. I love that it has the Egyptian aspects in it. It fits with like the gardens because of the leaves, and she's so beautiful, and the whole thing is just so gorgeous. I love it. Love how it turned out. Definitely let me know what you guys think about it. And now for pile number 4, which was Bender of Fire and Emotion. I really love this one too. I think it fits the energy perfectly. It is both powerful, but you can see the emotion in his eyes, you can see the hurt, but it is strong, it is determined, and oh my god, it is powerful. Also, he's very attractive. Do you see that jawline? You could cut a diamond and put a ring on someone with that jawline. Also, if you thought that this was cool, this is actually something that I offer when I do personal one-on-one readings, but it's a lot more personal because I will actually have you send me a picture of yourself, which I will put into an AI image generator, and it'll make it look cool, and then I will draw your aura and have it as the background of that picture that you sent me. So it's really fun, it's really cool. If you want to get that set up, or if you just want to see what else I offer, because I offer other services as well, definitely let me know. All of my contact information will be listed down in the description, as well as in my About Me on my YouTube channel. And thank you again so much for being here. I had a lot of fun doing this reading, and I hope that you like it, and I hope that you had fun here. And if you did, I would be oh so grateful if you could do me a solid and show me some support by liking, sharing, subscribing, and of course, hit that bing bong so that you never miss a new upload from me. And with that, I hope you have a week as beautiful as you, and I hope to see you again in the future. I love you. Bye!